Alright, now I'm gonna talk about the Model X. Yes, I was so lucky to see it last week. They had as a production model, yeah, they had it in the show in Oslo, Alamblu, and that's actually the same car that was in Geneva. Yeah, it's a deep blue one. It is actually a US model. As you can see, the charge port is a US model, so it's been shipped around. Yeah, it's probably shipped around Europe as we speak now for show. So there was no opportunity to do a test ride, obviously, test drive. But anyway, I got the chance to finally see the Model X, and I did some measurements and did some stuff. So I will mainly talk about 3 topics today, which is exterior and space, very important, and also some other features about the Model X. And I will also, in many cases, I will compare this with the Model S. So right now I'm sitting in the Millennium Falcon, which is a Model S. So the Model X I have one will come in, I don't know, a couple of months maybe, hopefully. But okay, right, let's just dig right into it. So the Model X is actually much better looking in real life than it seems like in the rendered pictures and on videos and, well, yeah, and some pictures. So I'm not sure, people complain that it doesn't look that great. Well, I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So in the beginning, actually, I didn't like the prototype Model X with a nose cone, but thankfully they redesigned the front, so it actually looks pretty great in the front. I like the front better than the Model S, actually. So yeah, and also it could be, you know, maybe people get the wrong impression of the Model X by looking at some, I don't know, bad pictures shot by mobile phone or something. I don't know, but it could be that, you know, the proportions are wrong if you don't shoot it properly. Let's say if I go too close like this, you see my face gets a little bit out of proportion, whereas if you have some distance to it, it looks more natural. So that could also be the same case for the Model X, but as for me, I think it looks great. I mean, still, I think the Model S looks sexier, of course, but even still, that the Model X is not too bad. You know, one thing, the first thing that struck me was how the heck were they able to fit, you know, 7 seats for adults in the Model X. And the Model X is 5 centimeters, about 2 inches longer than the Model. What did I say now? The Model X, yeah, the Model X is longer than the Model S. So that's one way they increase the space inside. But I also measured the hood on the Model X, which is 110 centimeters. That's a little, almost almost 4 feet, whereas the Model S hood is 120 centimeters, or 4 feet. So, you know, they kind of shrunk the outer a little bit, and then they made the inner space larger. So that's how they were able to fit, you know, 7 people. And so, in my opinion, after looking, well, I was just seeing some of the footage. You know, there are lots of people on this event, so I couldn't get to you know, feel and look at the car that much. You know, lots of people wanted to see it. So actually, I haven't sat in the driver's position yet, so I don't actually know how it is, but let's just make it like an excitement before I get my own Model X then. But from my impression, the space is actually pretty good on the Model X. So it should also be better on at least on the second row. You know, on the Model S, the second row seats, they are kind of well, they are not too deep. So actually, if you are, you know, normal height, like 170 centimeter or higher, or yeah, then most people, you know, the knee will point a little bit upward, so you don't sit comfortably, at least on long rides. But on the Model X, it is higher. That one I haven't measured yet, but I tried to sit it and it feels better. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So yeah, we mixed a little bit topic here. We talk a little bit about space here, but well, let's go back to exterior. So I noticed that the Falcon wing doors actually closes kind of quick, and it seems like it closes almost as fast as the Model S rear lift gate. It's on par on that. So, you know, some people also complain that it is so gimmicky and, you know, it takes forever to open and close. Well, it's not that bad in my opinion. I try not to be biased because I just want the Model X. I'm just trying to get an honest and independent opinion about this. Yeah. So we'll see how it works, because you know, I'm just saying this as a first impression, but eventually I will use it to carry items nimble and open and close it all the time, and then I will really see how it works in real life. So another concern people have been having, especially Norwegians, are snow on the Falcon wing doors. And well, you know, the Falcon wing doors, on the top it has glass, so it actually means that some heat will leak through it, and you could preheat the car, and then you will melt the snow, because if you have too much snow on the roof, and when you try to open it, well, some of the snow will, you know, might pour into the car. But then again, it's not recommended to drive around with lots of snow on the roof anyway. So anyone who's a little bit responsible should clear some of the snow on the roof before they do stuff in the car. So then again, you see, I will also experience this once I get the Model X to see how it actually works in real life. But from my impression, you know, that could not be an issue. It's maybe like people worrying too much. Yeah. All right, about the door handles. In the Model S, it extends, kind of cool. In the Model X, it doesn't extend anymore. It's just a button. Yeah, so it looks similar to the Model S, but yeah, it's just a button, and when you press it, it will, at least on the top model, it will automatically open and close for you. So that's kind of cool. So actually, when you enter the car, and if any doors are open, at least the front doors, and you press the brakes pedal, then the door is automatically closed. It's not that useful feature, but I think it's a cool feature anyway. And of course, if you enter the driver position, it will also open the door for you. So that's cool. I still have a little bit concern though, because in the Model S, I tend to almost close the door. And I do that because when I'm with wifey and I open and close the rear doors and stuff to load and unload items, if I completely shut the front door, the screen will go blank and the heater will shut off. So my wife has to tap the screen once to, you know, turn on the heater. But then if I open another door and then close it again, then the screen will go blank again. So she has to constantly tap the screen, and that's a bit annoying because the car actually knows that there's a passenger there because it has weight sensor in the seat. So I've been talking about this for a long time, that they should implement some kind of, you know, new feature where, okay, if there's a passenger there, don't shut off the freaking screen all the time. But as a workaround, what I do is I almost close the door on the driver's side. It says click, and then, yeah, not too much heat escapes from it. And also it protects very well against rain. So that one has worked for me, but in the Model X, I might not be able to do that. So you see, this case I'm explaining now could not only be a case for me, but I'm not sure about other people. Maybe if yeah, you have children, you still want to have the heater running while you are unloading stuff, or children, or luggage, or whatever, and maybe you want to do the same thing as I do. So we don't know yet how it's going to work on the Model X. Maybe there's a workaround for it still, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. A new great feature, external feature that I noticed is the wiper nozzles. In the Model S, they are freaking bad. They don't spread. There's a, yeah, and I talked about this before. So in the Model X, the wiper nozzles are integrated into the wipers, and that is huge. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to winter to try to use it, because on salty roads in the Model S, it doesn't work. I don't know. There's a workaround. Well, it either sprays too high or too low, and you can adjust it somehow. But still, it's very clumsy because it will, at least on my car, is adjusted to work at low speeds, like 20 kilometers per hour. So I have to decrease my speed to get it, to get the front windshield clean. So it is very clumsy, but that one is better on the Model X. And also the wiper fluid tank, where you refill the wiper fluid, is placed much closer to the edge. And that is huge also, because that means I might be able to throw away my funnel now and actually use it to do some other stuff, yeah. Whereas on the Model S, yeah, I need this funnel to pour in wiper fluid. That is kind of clumsy, the design on the Model S, so it is better on the Model X. And on the Model S, you know, you have LED LEDs on the door handles that extends. Because Model X doesn't have door handles, there's actually a small disadvantage that when you get close to the car, it doesn't illuminate the area around the car anymore. But as soon as you open the door, at least the front door has LED lights under the door, and also the Falcon wing doors. Actually, I just noticed that they have LED close to the speakers, so it illuminates the ground for you. But it has to be open. The door has to be open to illuminate the ground. It's also good, but you know, it's not as good as Model S. Yeah, all right. And then in the front, you can actually see there are some vents in the lower end of the car. That one is used for cooling down the motor and the battery. And then in the grille, what would be the nose cone in the Model S is actually an opening where you have other vents, and those vents are for air into the cabin. So we'll also see how that works in winter when I drive through snow, and then snow and ice get stuck in there. What's gonna happen then? Yeah. There's actually a different design on the triangle window. This is also a common, well, not a common, but it's some cars. I would say, yeah, it is a common issue with elder Model S that some cold air leaks through the triangle window, whereas the Model X doesn't have a triangle window anymore. It's like a different shape of it, and the very front triangle is actually integrated into the. It doesn't open with the door, as you see. So hopefully it doesn't leak air like the Model S. So we'll see. The ground clearance, I wasn't able to measure it properly. I don't know how to actually measure it, because I mean the only true way to measure it is to drive it through some snow, and then you can measure the height of the snow after you've driven through it to get the lowest possible point of it or something, because you can't just measure one place. You have to measure the lowest place under the belly or something. But at least when I did some noobish measurement, I measured about 20 centimeters for clearance. That's about 8 inches, I think. Yeah, I'm not too good with the imperial system. But in the Model S, it's about 16 centimeters, or was it 6.5 inches or something. So yeah, it's actually, from my impression, yeah, it is higher than the Model S, and obviously it is an SUV, so it should have higher ground clearance. So that's good. But the Model X also has 5 different levels on the air suspension, whereas the Model S has 4. So I haven't measured the lowest point on when you're actually riding at highways and stuff, but I would imagine that it's not like a typical SUV where you always have to drive in a high position or something, but you can actually lower it so it becomes more sporty and yeah, more useful, and also slightly better aerodynamics for highway driving. So yeah, moving on to the tow bar. And this model, I checked it out, it doesn't have tow bar, but it has an opening, it has a lid. And yeah, there's probably something missing under there, but in the tow bar versions there was probably this thing that you can hook on the tow bar on, and so that means when you're not using the tow bar, it will be completely hidden behind this lid. So that's awesome. It is not electric like foldable like some cars. I think the BMW has it, but actually it will just come out automatically, and yeah. So not like that, is half manual, but it's still okay because you can hide it. Yeah, looks better that way. And I also looked at the rear camera. It seems to have the same flimsy design as the Model S, where schmutz will always collect on that rear camera. So I don't know, I've seen other cars like the Volkswagen that actually it opens, so it is actually behind the Volkswagen logo, and then it opens when it's needed and it closes. But then again, maybe in the Volkswagen you can only activate it when you are in reverse, whereas in the Model S, Model X, you can activate it at all time. So I don't know, maybe they could hide it under somewhere, or another workaround would of course be to have a sprayer, some kind of high pressure mixed with air like the Nissan have developed. That would be useful, because in Norway, in winter, 95% of the time the rear camera is clogged. Yeah. Alright, let's move on to space. So one thing I was dying to know was how much space is it in there, because I want to carry items and animals, mostly items. So let's begin with the frunk. The frunk is, from my impression, larger than the D frunk in the Model S. The D frunk is freaking tiny. That it is so tiny, and that it can't almost be used for anything, because the space, not only is the space limited, but the shape and everything limits it, so you can't really put any useful items in there. Well, you can put some clothes in there, but a bag, a suitcase, bigger one, won't fit there. But in the Model X, yeah, it is 120 centimeters at the widest. And also I noticed that there is actually this little cave in the front area where you can put adapters or whatever in there. But from my impression, yeah, the Model X frunk is bigger than the Model S. Oh, there's so many so many letters here. Shit. But I have to measure it again, of course. So yeah, I haven't done a direct comparison yet. But of course, if you want the biggest space in the frunk, you have to go for the rear-wheel drive like the Miller and the Falcon. That one has a freaking huge frunk. Yeah, front trunk. And now, let's talk a little bit about space and length in the back. So because the Model X is a full 7-seater, when all the 7 seats are up, the rear trunk is kind of limited, obviously, but that's the way it's with other cars too, which are full 7-seater. But again, because because the Model X doesn't have I don't know what other cars has in the back there, maybe a gas tank or I don't know something, but the cave under the trunk is pretty huge on the Model X. It is a lot bigger than the Model S. Did I say X or S now? Sorry, but you know what I mean. So in the Model S, you have this place under the trunk where the child seats, the jump seats will fall down. And it is actually kind of huge, but the Model X is freaking huge. I get the impression it's almost 2 times bigger. I haven't measured it directly, but it is huge. So that means you can actually put bags or suitcases standing in the Model X, even with all 7 seats folded up. And of course, if you don't need that many seats and you fall down the third row, you get even more space. So about space, I measured that when you fall down the third row, you have 110 centimeters, almost 4 feet in the length. Yeah. And in the width, oh shit, I haven't measured that. Shit, okay, I'm gonna do that. But that is actually on par with the Model S. Actually, it could be slightly better because you have the deeper, let's say what we call it, footwell, yeah. And if you adjust the seat and the second row all the way to the front, then you only get 150 centimeters or 5 feet. And that is, of course, a lot shorter than the Model S, because the Model S can fold the second row, whereas the Model X can't do that. The seats are fixed in this position. They can only be adjusted back and forth, yeah. So yeah, the Model S will usually, if you have a normal seating position in the front here, you can fit about 6 feet or 180 centimeter items in the back there. And also not only that, but you can, if no one is riding in the passenger side here, you can take the seat all the way in front, and then you actually can fit like almost 50 centimeter wide and over 2 meter, like 220 or something. So the Model X is still a beast when it comes to storage. I don't know why Model X didn't come with foldable seats, second row, because that would have made a huge difference. Then it could beat, Audi Q7 or BMW X5 or whatever. There was Volvo XC90, because those cars, well, I haven't checked them out, but I assume they can fold the seats. Yeah, like most other cars. So that is unfortunate, but if you go for the 6-seat configuration, you will have some space in the middle where the seats should have been. So then you can fit like skis or something, not too wide, about 35 centimeters wide, 1 feet wide. But that means like 2 meter long or 7 feet. So you can fit long items in there. So that's also another reason to get the 6-seat configuration. And also I noticed something, that the middle seat in the second row is narrower. I never noticed that before. Now you can see it in the back there. I haven't measured it, but I did a rough measurement, but it seems like the middle seat is about 35 centimeters wide, whereas the other seats are 45 centimeters roughly. So that means if you go for the 7-seat configuration, the middle seat is like the cheapest seat. You know, you don't want to put you want to put people on the other seats before you actually use that in the middle seat. Yeah. All right. So the second row can be adjusted back and forward. That's always nice, of course. And so you're gonna get you can adjust and you can do that from the passenger side. The passenger can do it by themselves. You can adjust it back and forth. That's good. And you can also angle. I'm not sure how to do it. You can tilt the seat back and forward. At least for the left and right. I'm not sure where the button for the middle are, so I assume that you can't do that for the middle seat. You see, the middle seat is always the cheapest seat. It is smaller. It doesn't have an adjustment. At least for the two left and right one, you can tilt to get slightly better seating position, but you can't recline them because the angle of the seat is fixed. But it's slightly better, but yeah. And okay, good new feature with the Model X is that the doors on the front doors have freaking large rooms for storing bottles or phones or whatever. It's freaking huge, and finally you get it, but the Model S doesn't have it. And I thought that was actually a big drawback for the Model S to not have this storage area, but finally they get it, and it's huge. I find it actually bigger than some of the fossils car I had, like the BMW 5 Series. That was kind of tiny, you know, you could fit a bottle, but that's it, at least for the E61 I had. And also, what was it again? The Renault Laguna. Yeah, but the one in the Model X is huge, and that is very nice because that means stuff that we would usually put in the middle console can go there now. Yeah. And we don't always have to fight about, why you put that one in, you can just put it in over there or something, but then I will have my stuff in my side, wifey will have her phone or whatever drinking bottle in her side, and we can have whatever, some camera and other shit goes into the middle. Yeah, so that's awesome. Finally. And another great feature about what, did I miss something? Okay. Another great feature with the Model X is that it finally has adjustable headrest. Unfortunately, the headrest is not fully customizable because it is automatically adjusted according to the seat position to the front or rear. So they assume that they assume that, you know, long people, they will adjust the seat all the way to the back, and when as you adjust it to the back, the headrest will rise, and then we'll go to the front, then the headrest will go down. So while it is a good idea, I find it not too good actually, because wifey likes to have her seat all the way to the back to get plenty of plenty of leg room. And then what's going to happen? Well, the headrest will go all the way up, so it doesn't fit her profile. So that's unfortunate. I think they should have made it manual. At least there's no button for it on the seat, but they can always implement it software. So it's I hope they do that, because I think some people will complain about this. All right. So you know what? I noticed something else. The front, the front camera. If you see here on the footage, there is one front camera, but there's actually space for another front camera. On the render picture on Tesla's website, you actually see, if you zoom in here, you see that there are two cameras. And in this one, in the US model, well, I wouldn't call it a prototype. It is actually a production car. But it only has one, and there's space for two cameras. So hopefully, eventually, we will get two cameras, and they can see stereo and see depth, and maybe adjust. I mean, they can estimate distance better, or I don't know. Well, yeah. So that's the thing I noticed. Actually, was another guy who told me, and then saw that. So we'll see what's gonna happen with the other models. So this could be the next generation of sensors that make the car more autonomous. But yeah, I'll see. I will do another video once I get the Model X just to show you the features on that car, which I don't know if it'll be any different because it is still a Founders Edition. So it would be early model, probably, yeah. Another great feature, new feature with the Model X is that it now finally has a 12-volt outlet in the trunk. And that means you can put like, what's it called again? Cooling bag or something in the back. And yeah, so I tried doing that in the Model S. The Model S only has 12 volts here in the very front. And if you want to put a cooling bag or something in the back in the trunk, it doesn't work. The cable is not long enough. So a cooling bag for me has to go in the back seat or something. Whereas on the Model X, you can actually put it in the trunk. So that's a great thing, yeah. And also, as for outlets, it also has USB outlets for the second and the third row. I haven't noticed that. I read it somewhere, but that's also a great feature. And also, I noticed something else. The rear liftgate latch on the Model S is freaking smoothish. I use it a lot. Open and close the door. So you see, this is how it looks like after 2 years. And 20 something, they meant 200,000 and 20 something kilometers. So it's a bit dirty, and also you see it on the Model X, it looks a lot better. It's like chrome or something, metal. And on the Model S it's just plastic. So it looks better. Yeah, I hope it also stays that good. Also, because the Model X is like suited for adults and all that full, yeah, it has better design for the air vents. On the Model S, you have some air vents in the middle console, and you also have the air vents in the under the front seat, so you get some air for the feet, and yeah, that's it. But at least on the Model X, you have more air vents for the second and third row. And I know that people with the Model S and rear jump seats, they've been complaining that in the rear, all the way in the rear there, the children, they have it either too hot or too cold in the winter and summer. So one workaround for the summer was to tint the rear window. Yeah, because they also tried the accessory where you put this mesh grill in the back, but that didn't reduce the heat enough. So at least on the Model X, all 7 passengers, all 7 humans in there should be comfortable. And also another nice feature about the Model X is finally that you get the hooks for securing cargo. And the Model S doesn't have it at all. And the Model X has actually 2 hooks in the very back, and then 2 hooks that are on the second and third row seat. So when you fall them down, they become like this nice place where you can hook your stuff and secure a cargo. As a workaround for the Model S, I did use the hooks that the second row were attached to. When you fall them down, you have these hooks. So I used them. It works so far, yeah. But of course, hooks on the ground would be better in some situations. But for most situations, yeah, the hooks in the second row seats have worked so far. And also, as the Model S, the Model X also comes with the titanium underbody shield. So yeah, that one will be useful because if you go off-roading with the SUV. And also, as the Model S, the Model X also has ambient LED lighting in the doors. So that's cool. That's cool. One disadvantage, though, I think, in the Model X is that I don't know. It has to do something with the design, with Falcon wing doors or something. But it seems like, yeah, the rear windows don't go all the way down. I'm gonna test it now. I forgot to do that. I'm gonna test it with the Model S. Okay. So the rear windows on the Model S also doesn't go that far. It doesn't go all the way down, but it goes down slightly further than the Model X. So that could be a limitation for children, I guess. But then again, I don't know how big of an issue it is. So it was probably the difference is like 1 inch or about 2 centimeters from the Model S and X. So yeah, that's it for now. I think yeah, I think I didn't forget anything. So if you have any comments or questions, then please ask me, and I will try to check it out, because there might be some points that I haven't talked about now that I did notice when I saw the car. But again, you know, I had very limited time to see the car, so I will do a much deeper review once I get the Model X. Alright, so there was again, it was a freaking long video, but bear with me, because you know, I can talk long time about the Model X, yeah. Alright then, so thank you for watching.